If you know anything about internal combustion engines, forget about it.
It's got nothing to do with that, right?
No, you don't need that. It's all sealed. It's all sealed. You're passing everybody in a steam car that's almost 90 years old.
Steam on.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jay Leno, and once again, like a pebble in your shoe, Dennis Gage has turned up in my garage. Dennis, how are you?
Jay, always a pleasure.
Oh,
I
yeah,
must say,
good
always
to
a
see you.
pleasure.
Good to see you. Yeah.
Well, you know, you're always a steam guy, and you've got new steam things. Well, actually, the new old steam things.
Right, right.
And I want to talk about Howard Hughes' steam Doble. But
Right.
but I want to start with some of your historic steam.
These are stationary power plants. That's about 1876, and this one is 1906. That's an advanced steam tractor. Takes about 300 gallons of water to fire it, but it'll pull down the building. Oh my God, is it powerful? I mean, it's one cylinder, but geez.
Really a big cylinder.
You know something, with this very tractor, the guy that had it before me, they went to one of these tractor pulls with a guy with, you know, 4 diesels with this with the supercharger, and they dragged him
Backwards.
Yeah, dragged him backwards. I mean, yeah,
It's
steam.
like don't screw with steam,
Steam is
right?
powerful. This is a steam motorcycle. We'll deal with that one in another episode. But today we're going to talk about, I guess, steam cars. And I want to show you how they marketed steam cars. Can I show you
yeah.
one of my favorite? This is an actual ad for a steam car. We put it up on the wall. Here, take a look. See, warning to motor car buyers. And we say motor car buyers, we mean buyers of steam motor cars, not those shrieking, smelling, snorting petrol things with gears and clutches and ignitions and other abominations all hidden away in corners and making a noise which frighten horses and cattle and humans, rouse the ire of many other animals, not to mention magistrates. Why would you buy a gasoline car? I mean, after reading that, oh my God.
I like about halfway down. Very well. Now for the warning. Like we haven't
Exactly.
warned you enough.
That's right, that's right. I mean, it's very funny. It's very funny.
But that's an actual ad from back in
That's
the
an
day.
actual ad, because don't forget, steam was 100 years old already when the steam car came along.
They're usually just this big water heater. And it's a big, you know, kind of boiler, and it runs this thing. But the Doble's a completely different.
No, completely different. Well, here. This is a Doble chassis. This will explain it. It's a little complicated, so you kind of have to. If you know anything about internal combustion engines, forget about it.
It's got nothing to do with that, right?
All right, let me explain how this works. You turn the key in the ignition. The ignition spins a Scirocco type fan in here in this house. This is called a draft booster. It's better to call it a steam supercharger.
Yeah, it's
but
kind of
it's a draft booster. It spins, it forces air through the venturi of the carburetor, and you know when air goes through a venturi, it picks up speed, and it picks up gas out of the float bowl and throws the gasoline right here into the center of this, for lack of a better word, combustion chamber. Now you have one spark plug that lights it off. Now in here we have, what is this one, 475 linear feet of steel boiler tubing that gets gradually smaller. Now that tubing never holds more than a quart, maybe a quart and a half of water. So consequently, it makes steam instantly. Okay. Now, as soon as you make that steam, the steam comes back here and hits a 4-cylinder compound engine. You have a high-pressure piston and a low-pressure piston. Let me show you how that works. Okay, there you go. Imagine the steam is coming through.
Okay.
And the reason that this is so powerful is because every stroke's a power stroke. Steam pushes the piston up, then a valve closes and another. Steam pushes the piston down, up, down. So unlike internal combustion, go 1, 2, 3, 4, bang,
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4,
One
bang.
every
This
four,
is
right.
bang, bang, bang. So although it's only 4 cylinders, you have the same number of power impulses as a V16. As you can see, here's your crankshaft. And because there's 1,000 foot-pounds of torque, there's no need for transmission. So you're running directly off your gear here to your rear wheel.
Wow. So it's like it's gear to gear.
Right, gear to gear,
Wow.
direct drive. Now also, while that's turning, it's also running this auxiliary shaft, and it runs the water pumps to pump water into your steam generator, and it also pumps oil into your steam, because as
And that's
you
a
know,
steam oil?
Steam oil. As you know, water is
Right.
not a lubricant, so you've got to shoot a little dollop of steam oil in there. Okay, now the steam is not done yet. After it exits there, it comes back up here to this draft booster, and the steam overrides the electric fan and spins it harder and faster than the electricity ever could, forcing gasoline harder and faster into here. So your fire's getting hotter and hotter. The real genius is this here, this little control unit. What you have here is a metal tray, and on that metal tray you have about 6 little glass crystals. And as the metal tray gets hot, it pushes the glass, it expands, it pushes the glass crystals, which turns this ignition switch on and off. It cuts the fire out,
And
cuts
turns
the
it
fire
on.
turns it on,
Really?
turns it off, turns it on, turns it
So
off.
it's just different coefficients
Right.
of expansion?
Yes, so you're maintaining about 750 degrees. Now, unlike a Stanley, which runs on heated steam, this runs on superheated steam.
Okay.
Now, superheated steam, I think, expands about 2,500 times. So each drop of water, boom, literally explodes. That's where you get all your power. That's where your power comes from. So that's turning it on and off. Now, your steam is not done yet. After it exits a draft booster, it goes up here, and it hits these two turbine wheels.
Okay.
Now, these two, the fan spins, the steam, as it's exiting the engine, spins this here, which spins the fan. The steam then goes in here and is cooled by the fan and turns back into
And
water.
that's a condenser.
That's
it's not
a
a
condenser,
cooler. It's
not
just,
a radiator. This was the last gas with steam. And the advantage is there's no shifting, there's no noise,
and tons of power.
incredibly fast.
These are so rare. How do you have this one that you've cut up and made this demo?
This was done by another cut, and this was their display chassis to show people how it worked.
Oh, how cool.
And that's why I got it. It's just easier than when people like Dennis come over trying to explain it. It's just easier to
get
buy this and go, let me show you how this works.
What's worth the
But
price?
let me show you the Howard Hughes
Yeah,
car.
yeah, let's
itself.
do it.
Come on over here. As you can see, rather handsome car.
Very handsome, yes. Dove gray and red.
And you have your
Golf
golf
club.
bag in there.
Which is full of
full of
fire extinguishers. Which, when it comes to steam, I'm really happy to see
Full
those.
of fire extinguishers.
And then how about your headlights and stuff? Where was the electricity generated for your headlights?
Well, remember that auxiliary shaft I told you about?
Yeah, yeah.
The auxiliary shaft ran the oil pump, the water pump, and the generator.
oh, well, that's great.
Yeah.
And now you got discs on this.
Yeah, we put big Corvette disc. You know, the car weighs almost 3 tons. And I just found myself, excuse me, sorry, stop,
Coming through,
beep, beep down, beep, beep down. You know, so you need to be able to stop.
No, I'm all for that.
This goes on the freeway, and she cruises at 70, 75 miles an hour easy with 1,000 pounds of pressure. So you have to, I mean, you just have to.
You have to.
But as you can see, it's a beautiful piece of engineering.
So this is one that's not all cut up.
This one is not all cut up, no. There's your control box, as you mentioned. And then you fill this with your steam oil in here.
Was this a sight glass? Was that a
Yeah.
window you could see?
The window is added just
Okay,
a little
just-
dramatic effect so you can see.
Sort of like looking
Yeah.
into, you know,
and you'll see the,
hell or
when
something.
we start it up, you'll see the flame
Really?
start spinning, yeah.
Well, let's fire it up.
Let's take a look. As you can see, it's completely cold. You can put your hand on there. So we'll start it from rest. First thing you do, turn on the ignition. What I do is I pull up the water pumps. They have a pump here. What the water pump will do, will pump water into that 500 or 600 feet of tubing. Watch, you'll see pressure. See, watch this here.
Yeah. Oh,
See it?
wow.
Boom, okay. Pressure comes up almost immediately. Okay, now, ready?
Holy. Fire in the hole.
Yeah.
That's downright scary, actually.
Yeah.
And I don't need a fire extinguisher?
No, because
Looks like-
it's all sealed. There's no external flame. When it hits 750, it shuts off, and then I do that. I crack the throttle just a little bit because now I have pressure, but I don't want to move away till I have temperature. You'll see it come up. I pull the handbrake. Now the handbrake, when you pull the handbrake all the way back, that opens the drip valve, which allows water to come out, any water that condensed in the cylinders overnight. Water cannot be compressed.
Right, right.
It'll burst the thing apart. So you open a valve which lets water drip out.
The handbrake does dual duty,
Right, yeah.
and it's just roaring away. Does it roar this? Is that roar constant?
It'll get quieter as things get hotter. This is fire, this is water pump. When we're driving down the road, you'll see those go on and off.
So there's no spark advance. There's no
No spark advance, no clutch, no transmission, no shifting.
No, you got 2 pedals and one with a button. But there's no clutch.
No
So-
clutch. That's a brake. This pedal, all the way to the floor, is reverse. The engine then turns the other direction.
Right.
You have a Stevenson link kind of deal there. It's not a Stevenson link, but similar to that. It just causes the engine to reverse direction.
What was that?
Oh, just metal expanding at different rates.
Okay. I'm not nervous around steam at all, you know.
No, you can't. You know, a steam car is never blown up. There's always
Yeah.
this rumor that there's nothing to blow up here because you only have a quart of water. So the worst that happens is you burst a tube.
Oof, yeah.
But it doesn't, it's not like you have that big advanced tractor. Oh, that'll blow you to King's Road. Yeah. 'Cause that's 300 gallons of water.
Boom!
This is just, Okay, here we go. We have temperature is the red line. And,
Yeah.
And the black one is pressure. What we're going to do now is pull out of the garage, and I will then fill the tank with water, and we'll be ready to motor away.
Let's do it.
I've been thinking of putting a big picture window in here, just to make it a really big window, but
It's like gates of hell,
But you see how the flame is going in a circle?
Yeah,
It goes down, right down like that, yeah. I mean, it's really fascinating. And we're ready to go.
wow. Usually I'm pushing these things.
Well, you see how quiet it is?
Wow, yeah. So the flame totally shuts off?
Shuts off. Now I've got enough heat. The flame will only come on when I need it. There it goes. As you can see, I'm using the Evian racing water. See how many screws are holding this?
Yeah.
Here? Rolls-Royce had 12. Doble said, So he has 13 on his, yeah. Same with the gas cap. There's no reason you need 13 screws holding the gas cap on.
Except that it's
That's
one more than
stupid.
Rolls-Royce.
That's right, one more. Yeah. So now we fill it up with water.
And probably when it starts spewing out, it means it's full.
When it overflows, you're full, yeah. Water coming out. Okay, and then we're full.
And it's still running, right? Your flame is still on, she's still running.
No, flame is not on.
But I mean, it's
ready to go.
It's ready to go.
Let me pull around the corner.
So you have a voltmeter and an ammeter.
Voltmeter and an ammeter.
What's that?
That is a cigarette lighter, my friend. There you go.
It's a mustache. Oh my God! Put the thing out.
That's a cigarette lighter. That's right.
Woof.
That's all right. They got all the amenities
Oh
here.
man, I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so like we're basically ready to roll. Eh?
But we have to set the clock. We have the wrong time. Hang on.
Oh, all right. Well,
I pride myself on everything working on these things.
and it's a wind up.
Oh, it's a wind-up clock, son. The most
right.
dependable kind of clock there is.
And now the warning, right? You don't want one of those internal
And we're ready
combustion
to-
clocks.
Ready to pull away.
When did your fascination with steam start?
Oh, probably 20 years ago. When you get interested in cars, you keep wanting to go, well, what came before that? Well, what came before that? Well, what came before that? And you get down to the chicken, and after you eat the egg, you eat the chicken, and then you don't care.
Right.
This is really quite easy to drive. There's no noise.
Yeah.
There's no smoke. There's no backfire to scare the horses.
And it's a crowd pleaser too.
Oh, yeah.
It takes off.
You got 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. And you can more than keep up with modern traffic. As you can see, it's not a problem.
And I can see why you went with the big Corvette disc brakes because
Yeah.
I can feel the momentum here.
Yeah. I know.
There's some weight roll. This thing's like a freight train.
Yeah. Now see, with disc brakes, we would have hit that van without.
Boom. It's a little bit Corvette in some respects with a lot of stuff back there, like well, there isn't a transmission. It's that direct drive.
It's more like Jennifer Lopez, a lot of stuff back there.
into trunk.
Yeah, in the trunk, yeah. All the good stuff's in the trunk, you might.
And it rides nice.
Oh, it rides,
This
yeah.
baby rides
There aren't
nice.
many cars from 1925 that can do this. We'll take it up on the freeway.
Why not? You only live once, right?
Yeah.
Here goes.
Can you hear that fire roar?
I can hear it.
Hear that roaring fire?
That roaring is pretty menacing, actually.
You'll notice as I go faster and faster, I'm closing the throttle and I'm gaining speed because the engine's becoming more efficient. But you're passing everybody in a steam car that's almost 90 years old.
I can't believe it. So until our next meeting, remember, honor the timeless classics. I'm Dennis Gage. Happy motoring. Steam on.